Story 1. Years ago, I stepped back into dating after getting out of a long-term relationship. Here are a few things I noticed. It was strange experiencing nice dates where the intention was simply to date. When it goes well, it's really enjoyable, and I wasn't prepared for that. The first time I went out to dinner with someone new, it felt like cheating. I had to get over that. I was allowed to date, have fun, and not worry about anyone else. If you're just dating around, give yourself permission to have fun and enjoy your time. It's not a big deal. Online dating used to be easy, then it became difficult. Age was part of it, but a huge factor was the app system and the culture around it. Apps and gambling mechanics. There are many videos of women who create dating profiles pretending to be men. No matter how decent, hardworking, loyal, kind, or genuine you are, that doesn't guarantee success because people are picky. Men are used to being ignored. Women deal with an overwhelming number of awkward advances. That's generally how it goes. It used to be you'd send a bunch of messages just to go on a date. Now, there are individual rules, people are discerning, and it may take hundreds of swipes before finding a match. Then many conversations that drop off just to eventually go out with one person. I would go many months without a date. Most of my matches felt like scams. I felt terrible when the only person who responded just wanted me to pay for things. You might get excited meeting someone who seems genuinely interested, only to find out they're trying to sell services. Getting stood up was more common than I liked. Can be demoralizing. The key is not to tie your value to these apps. You can find great people, but the culture isn't conducive to making things happen easily. Try different approaches and keep it varied. You also have to worry about your safety. I've been in situations where I felt in danger. Look out for your physical and emotional safety. When you date a lot, you get better at sending rejection messages or rejecting someone. If you get rejected, it's not a reflection of you. It's just not meant to be. Don't waste time analyzing unless there are major turnoffs. Move on. If you reject someone, be honest, show grace and kindness, thank them for their time, and move on. Most people will ghost. That's okay. Keep being yourself and move forward. Don't get hung up on anyone. If you learn and grow from your experiences, you'll find someone better. There is no universal rule. People are quick to share dating rules, but everyone is different. For example, the expectation that the man should pay on the first date is common. Many women don't want to feel obligated, while others see it as a turnoff if you don't pay. Dating is supposed to be fun. Meet people who are enjoyable to be around, who make you happy, and who you get along with. Story 2. Many seemingly normal women use strategies and schemes that escorts use to attract clients, based on the advice of random social media influencers and so-called dating coaches. Story 3. My own apathy toward the dating process itself. Once I have gone on a couple of dates, I will just get hit with, through no fault of theirs, I think I just want to stay single and do my own thing, and politely end things. It has been 9 years since I have been in a relationship, and I just cannot be bothered. Story 4. Unrealistic expectations with little to no reciprocation. People are quick to ask for everything and try to justify their greed by saying, "You were supposed to provide for me." Yet they do not even express gratitude. They believe they are entitled to your time, money, energy, and admiration. Even then, if it occurs to them, they may deem you not good enough. And after moving an entire mountain for them, you may be told that it is nothing. Story 5. I see the same patterns in women that made my marriage difficult. The psychologists on TikTok are enough to make one want celibacy. Story 6. The small number of women who are both child-free and pet-free. I do not want children and I do not want pets, as neither fits the lifestyle I want long-term. The pet-free women usually have children, and women who do not have children currently are either undecided or already have pets. Story 7. I'm tall, good-looking, and appear younger than my age. I get many matches from women on dating sites who obviously did not read my profile. I had one match get angry with me because I enjoyed video games and did not like sports. She kept messaging me with a strange tone for about a week. She was obviously attracted to me but didn't like that I refused to pretend to be what she wanted. Another woman pretended to share my interests and overwhelmed me with affection, but she clearly didn't like anything about me except my looks. She became demanding when I wouldn't agree to come over every night, and I ended up cutting off contact when she did not take the hint. I also had a great date with a woman who seemed like a good match. The next day, she told me she was married and traveling out of town. Story 8. Women can be intimidating, and every time I try to talk to one, all I can do is maintain a friendship because I am afraid to take it any further. Story 9. Starting to use dating apps, and 95% of the profiles have the same exact thing. 1. They love coffee. 2. They love roast dinners. 3. They love Formula One. 4. They love hiking and traveling. When it comes to what they want in a person, it is all very generic things like is a kind person or makes me laugh. Both of these things should be normal in a relationship, so asking for this just shows you do not really know what you want, so you just throw something generic in. Many do not put any effort into their profile because they know they do not have to. They will still get many matches. Meanwhile, men have to put so much effort in, and it still does not work because the odds are against them, and you will not even be seen by most of the ones you swipe right on. I am at the age where the age group that I am seeking is at a point where they are running out of time to have children, so the vast majority of women display that they want children. It is incredibly rare to find anyone who does not want children on these apps, and as someone who does not really want them myself, though I have been open in the past, it really narrows down my options unless I decide to concede and accept that the only way I am going to get matches is if I find someone to have children with. Perhaps as I get older, this might change. Eventually, when you do get a match, you are instantly ghosted. Why? What is the point of matching if you are not even going to say anything? Story 10. Honestly, when I started dating again with the apps 2 years ago, it went really well. I didn't have a single bad experience. I got way more attention on the apps than I ever expected. I only went on about 1 date a month, but I could have done more if I really wanted. I was in no hurry and was being very selective with who I went on dates with. In the end, it took me about 4 first dates before I met my girlfriend, and we've been together 2 years now. I was really lucky and didn't have a single bad experience on the apps. The dates I had were nice, even when things didn't work out. For reference, I am a middle-aged dad with 2 young kids. Overweight, separated but not divorced yet. Living with my mom until the divorce is finalized and the house is sold. Average looking at best. I thought it would be a train wreck, but it was a great experience overall. I never had any issues with bots, escorts, or OnlyFans models. Those profiles are generally pretty easy to spot. I am pretty sure the guys who get taken by those are just swiping on any attractive face they see. I, for example, would never swipe on someone with no biography, only pictures. Most of the bots or similar profiles have just photos and little to no biography. I also wasn't really looking for casual sex. I was looking for a relationship. One really helpful thing I learned with online dating is to aim to get a date set up within a week of matching if things are vibing well. The longer you spend talking, the less likely things will work out. Even if it is not intentional, it is really easy to build the wrong image of someone by talking online a lot, and then you are disappointed when you finally meet. Story 11. Consistent matches and dates with attractive women aged 30 to 34. Then the algorithm decided it disliked me, resulting in virtually no matches or dates from 34 to 35. I just deleted all the apps. Every woman I have tried to talk to in real life is married or in a long-term relationship. But all my close male and female friends say I am a catch. I meet all the criteria of what women say they want, which is even more frustrating because if I were unattractive, misogynistic, unemployed, and selfish, I would understand. Story 12. So besides the expectations of a one-sided relationship with a smile on my face, I find that there are no overlapping hobbies between us. I know the games I'm into are incredibly niche, and many women I have met do not care for video games. I am not much of an outdoorsy person, while the women I have met want to be outside almost all the time. In summary, ignoring the I am a single mother who needs a man that crowd, I do not have much in common with the genuine ones I meet, both in hobbies and in values. Story 13. Just maintaining interest as a whole. My last relationship showed me I have things to work on, but what I am absolutely not willing to deal with a second time. I am putting in the effort and quite frankly, I am going back to dating older women. Story 14. It seems my biggest issue, and reading comments continues to confirm it, is that I am a single father. I am 37 and finding myself having to remember how to date in a dating world that is unfamiliar to me. I am not fond of casual hookups, will not be bringing anyone back to where my child sleeps for a long time in the relationship, and have encountered a lot of what feels like outright hostility online for wanting companionship and intimacy when I have a child. I understand, I do. Online is not real life, not all women, and so on. I actually fell in love with the woman I had this child with when she was a single mother. I know it is possible, but it does not feel like it. Story 15. I don't have any social hobbies or hobbies outside my apartment. I've looked around, but nothing interests me. When the weather is pleasant, I go for long walks in the park, but that is less of a hobby and more of a self-inflicted punishment. I never meet people. We just exchange polite smiles as we pass each other on a trail and never see each other again. I am still on the dating applications, but they basically do not work for me anymore. When they seem to, it is just one date that seems to go well, and then I get ghosted or rejected if they are polite enough to do that. Story 16. I understand that dating applications are mostly for profit, but they could use better filters. I could have eliminated a large number of women I was not interested in by filtering out certain phrases, which are just keywords indicating a lack of interest in an average man. Alternatively, I could declare that I am an average man, and they could exclude average men from their searches. This would have made searching easier for everyone. I am married now. I did find my person. She is amazing. Story 17. I would say that dating has drastically changed. It is not really fun anymore. I liken it to doing job interviews. People are more honest about what they are actually thinking or wanting due to a cultural shift, making it more of a transactional exchange. I have older married friends and family constantly telling me never to get married for my best interest. I have had plenty of girlfriends and dated quite a bit, so I generally understand why they say that. Watching their roller coasters from the sidelines makes me tired, so I do not think I can handle that anymore. I do not care for meaningless arguments or drama. To top it off, at my age, I do not want to raise children, whether they are mine or especially someone else's. Nor do I want to be your wallet. Story 18. Too many people treat it like they are applying to date someone, rather than actually offering anything of value as a person. Story 19. I am 40 and separated from my wife, whom I have been with for 14 years. I always had low self-esteem regarding my attractiveness but was willing to say hi. I never imagined I would be attractive, though I knew I wasn't ugly. I just thought I existed and could talk my way in. I watched a good amount of content about dating being broken post-COVID. Then I opened a dating profile to see what everyone was talking about. I used selfies I took in bathrooms, dressing rooms, and to send to my kids. I didn't want to mislead anyone, so I was honest about my situation. I am balding, have a dad bod, and am separated with kids. I have a cool job, enjoy physical, masculine hobbies, and I read. Based on the statistics from the apps, I expected 0.5 to 1% of women to like my profile. I expected to occasionally find another separated person. Nope, it was more like 10% liked me. It was overwhelming. I unmatched every woman who desired a family because I didn't want to waste their time or give my kids a surprise sibling. I was still overwhelmed with options. I assumed some pretty women were not genuine, but they were. I assumed some were bots, but they weren't. I know how to do open source intelligence with a first name, a city, and a job. Many divorced women are merely separated. That was eye-opening to me. However, my sample is limited to women willing to look past my separated status. I realized I didn't need the apps and could do better talking to women in person. My ability to be discerning from a place of genuine abundance completely changed what I was looking for. I thought I was ready to date. I realized that 95% of the time I thought was me in a single person's mindset was actually me secretly hoping my wife would desire me again. The loneliness I felt was me missing her. I wasn't lonely. I was sad. I reflected on my marriage and realized how much of a good guy I was. I hadn't chosen a vacation destination from my list of options in a long time. I would likely put the next woman's preferences over mine. Knowing I have options made it easier to find happiness in the loneliness and to recognize that a woman or 10 would be a distraction from processing this and becoming the adult I want to be. I would tolerate a lot from a woman if she helped me avoid temporary discomfort. I have kids, and they don't need a stepmom chosen by a dad avoiding loneliness. I called the women and told them I was choosing celibacy to find contentment in the present moment. I want to get to a place where I hesitate to sacrifice my freedom for a seemingly perfect woman. I know I can get there soon if I embrace the reasonable level of discomfort that comes from divorce. None of them got the ick from my vulnerability. They were all supportive and told me to call them once I am ready. They all reached out after the conversation. Tall. Story 20. Where I live, the girls who meet the age divided by 2+7 criteria are generally married, have many children, or look much older because they have been smoking and drinking excessively for the last 10 years. Anyone else is either too young or has a boyfriend. Story 21. One big issue I have faced stepping back into dating is meeting someone who seemed like a rare find, a deep connection, with the same life goals, almost every box ticked. Then plot twist. She stops responding and deletes her account. It is frustrating how people say they want honesty and respect but then do the exact opposite. It makes it hard to trust the process again. Story 22. I am a painfully average guy in the looks department on the shorter side. I get absolutely no attention from women in real life. With online dating, I get slightly less than no attention, but it might as well be zero. I feel invisible and have no idea how to put myself out there. I am afraid to talk to women because I do not want to scare or disturb them. Plus, I have no idea what to say. Story 23. I am a kissless virgin, 1 month shy of wizard powers. My choices are limited, and when people hear about my lack of experience, I have had one relationship, they ghost me. Story 24. After a short texting period, we decided to go out to dinner. She picked the restaurant, and upon walking in, the staff seemed to know her. I was looking at the menu while she was not. When the server arrived, she ordered the salad, clam chowder, and chicken fettuccine. Our conversation was just average. She ate the salad, then the soup, and had the untouched fettuccine put in a to-go container. I said something like, "Eyes larger than your stomach." She looked right at me and said this was for her boyfriend. That's when I realized that I had just purchased dinner for the man she was actually sleeping with. After that, I promised never to take another woman to dinner again. Story 25. I am going to speak for every man regarding the false allegations of sexual harassment and rape. We see these cases on television and in our personal lives. Often, the accused are cleared, and the women admit they lied. This situation is frightening because nowadays, if you approach a woman and say she is attractive, you do not know if you will get a date or a slap in the face, and possibly have your life ruined. Story 26. My issue is that I don't even get a chance to address the other problems people face. I have never matched with anyone on any dating site or application except for automated accounts. I do not have friends or hobbies that would allow me to meet people in social circles. My job involves a small, closed group of colleagues who are much older than I am, so I do not meet anyone there. I also lack the appearance or charisma to meet people randomly on the street while running errands or doing other activities. Story 27. At 36, the biggest obstacle is that I have a life that works, and most women seem like they would negatively affect that. Another obstacle is that at 36, many women start to physically deteriorate. They also carry a lot of trauma and problems. This is my subjective opinion based on personal experience. Additionally, I am not interested in raising a child that is not mine or dealing with a woman who has a child that is not mine. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.